Ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna get right into it. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you're brand new. Shout out to Barry Step, roll it.
People are saying all of this Diddy commotion isn't the thing we should be looking at. This is all the distraction.
Okay.
Literally the same time Diddy got arrested, something huge happened just now, and it's around 23andMe.
The DNA test?
It's a DNA ancestry company. Takes your saliva, they test it, and it shows your ancestry. Well, what do they have? Your DNA.
Oh, please don't tell me that.
A sample of pretty much everyone in the world that wanted to find out their ancestry.
Yeah, so what happened?
When Diddy got arrested, when this whole commotion is on the rise, just so happens every single board member of 23andMe quit all at the same time.
Whoa.
So check this out. There's hella theories going on. Did you know the CEO, it was the wife of the CEO of YouTube and Google. The wife owned 23andMe. The husband owned Google.
What the hell? Okay, you know, there was that Susan Wojcicki, right? My apologies if I'm butchering her name. She passed away recently as well, right? Was it her earlier?
Theory goes, the reason all of those board members left is because there's some things going on that are going to be very unethical in the future of the company. Okay, they have all of our data, even DNA data. On top of that, they have Google search engine. They have every single piece of information about you, including your biochemistry. Now, they're so fucking smart. What's the future of commerce where they can sell you things and you have to pay for it? What's one thing that you'll spend all your money for because if you don't, it's over?
Food and water, yeah.
Health. They have every single person's DNA. They can look at all the diseases where they can give you a cure.
I don't think the Diddy stuff is necessarily a distraction. I think they're after somebody else, and that's why Diddy went down.
If everything is a distraction, then nothing is a distraction anymore. So yeah, it depends, right? But people always say everything is distraction. Some would say this is a distraction. Others would say that other thing is a distraction. So it's like, yeah.
However, the 23andMe stuff definitely needs more coverage. They just labeled Google as a monopoly, but it may be too late already. How can you compete with a company that literally has the DNA of their customers? I'm just glad I never was interested enough to send my DNA into one of these companies. If you...
What the hell? Like, there was an option for people to send? Then of course, right? Then at that point, I'm not even gonna blame. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna blame Google at that point. If they ask you for your DNA and you sent your DNA to them, then you are to be blamed.
You did, and you're freaking out about it? Let me know down in the comments what you think they're gonna use your data for.
After watching that vice presidential debate last night,
don't send your DNAs, guys. Like, don't do that.
I was curious just how easy that CBP1 app was to use, so I downloaded it.
So once you create an account from the main page, you just have to choose if you're the smuggler or the smugglee. Then you just got to fill in basic info, first name, last name, you know, all the basics. I don't know my gender yet. I'm still figuring that out. Now it's time to take a selfie, and passport or any identification is also optional. Then it asks you which state you're headed to. I said I didn't know the address, I didn't know the city. I just chose California, and then I added the first zip code that Google gave me for California. And that's it. I'm good to go. It does let you choose between like 8 different bridges to meet under. I chose the Eagle Pass bridge to meet under. I just have to wait until noon, so a couple more hours to actually make my appointment.
Now I know what you're saying. That's not you, that's Carlos Mencia. Correct. I was just trying to show you how easy it was to register. I'm just a white dude from Michigan. This took me 5 minutes. Someone who really wants to get into this country, get temporary asylum with open-ended expiration dates, they'll just use their own picture. I said I have no documentation, I have no ID, no passport, no license. There is no way to cross-check who I say I am with who I really am.
I don't think it's that easy, but holy, if it is that easy, then what the hell?
All they go off of is the picture that you see.
He's saying all they go off of is the picture you upload, and he didn't even upload a real selfie, and it still worked. That photo should have at the very least been flagged as potential AI or something. It's literally a photo of the guy's cell phone. It looks like this app is being run on autopilot with no human moderators to step in whenever there's a red flag or suspicious details. How is this allowed? Anyone who thinks that this problem is happening by accident is just simply not paying attention. I'm just surprised that the app doesn't ask for your party affiliation. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this type of content, I post a new one just for me. Also, if you haven't been over there before, go check out www.barry-step.com and order yourself a shirt or a hat or a hoodie.
Cancer is not a disease, it's a survival mechanism. All the toxicity through our diet, lifestyle, stress, it needs a place to house those toxins. So they house it in what's called a tumor to protect you. Cancer is not trying to kill you. Cancer is actually trying to save your life. It's creating a tumor, a place for all those toxins to be so that they don't spread to other parts of the body. When you go,
I guess that's one way of looking at it. If you're somebody that had it, I guess this would be like your way of being positive about it, but I don't know, man. Is he...
Go to a doctor, the first thing they do is say, okay, well, let's take a biopsy. Well, what is a biopsy? It's where they prick the tumor and they see if it was cancerous or not. Well, first of all, whether the tumor is cancerous or not, your passive treatment is still the same. So you don't actually need the biopsy. In fact, most people don't actually die from cancer. They die from the treatment of cancer. Remember that we're dealing with healthcare, so there's no money to be made off healthy humans. And so when they prick the tumor, they're opening it up and allowing the cancer cells and all the harmful toxins to now spread throughout the body. So now you go from having a tumor on your breast or whatever it is, now they do the biopsy, they come back and they say, okay, well now the cancer's spreading all throughout your body, so we're gonna have to charge you more money and you're gonna have to do more radiation chemotherapy.
I don't know how true this is, and I certainly don't want you taking any medical advice from me.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like, don't take your medical advice from the internet, but the thing about like money part is absolutely true, right? The money is not in dead people and young people and healthy people. The money is in people that are sick, you know, that, and they would never give you cure. It's only treatments.
My wife is the medical professional. I'm just some guy on the internet. But this makes sense whenever I think about all the times that I've heard of someone finding out they had cancer through an unrelated medical test, only to then have that cancer start spreading rapidly whenever they begin treatment. Very interesting way to describe what cancer is doing in the body, though. I've never heard of cancer described as a defense mechanism before.
There's a mysterious character of a woman riding the beast, the Antichrist system, in Revelation chapter number 17. I want us to look at some of the descriptors and see if it lines up with what many people say is a representation of the Roman Catholic Church. I want to know what you think about this. Number one, she is full of the names of blasphemy. Number two, she's riding on a beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. She's clothed in purple and scarlet. Some look at that as a lot of the cardinals and the bishops, the colors that they adorn and wear. They are decked with jewels. I don't know if you've ever been to the Vatican, but it's certainly decked with jewels. There is a golden cup full of abominations. You'll not go to a service at the Vatican where they're not holding up a golden cup. She is called the mother of harlots, which is a false religious system. She's sitting on 7 mountains, which is a reference to the city of Rome, and she's drunk with the blood of the saints. One pope has killed more Christians than all Roman emperors put together. So is it a representation of the Catholic Church or of another religious system?
That absolutely sounds like it lines up with the Catholic Church. I've felt for a long time like there's something off about the Catholic Church. Now, I'm not knocking Catholicism itself, so please don't take offense if you're a Catholic. My suspicions lie with the upper management of the church. Besides all the clearly evil imagery that they've designed into the structures in the Vatican, they've given example after example in recent years that their beliefs mean nothing to them. They're constantly changing.
I'm personally Muslim, right? So all I gotta say is that follow God, don't follow people, don't worship celebrities, don't follow these religious leaders. They might have good things to say, and I would say, like, take good from everybody, ignore the bad part about it, but yeah, follow God, that's it. If you're an atheist, well, follow whatever you follow.
Changing their views based on what public opinion says instead of what scripture says. And that's enough to tell me, even if it is a legitimate church, it no longer has godly leadership at the reins.
They're taking the donations in Tennessee. Red Cross, FEMA, TEMA have come in and confiscated all of the donations that were given to the local high schools. They're taking control of additional volunteer schools. And if anyone wants access to the donations that they were given for help, they have to go through an approval process. All monetary donations taken and moved into a TEMA account, which means that they won't even be used fully for the Helene disaster. It's like they're turning local relief efforts into a mess of bureaucracy.
Have you guys ever seen like ads on Facebook about like whenever a disaster or something bad happens, you see an ad and it talks about, hey, donate, so we're gonna send the money to that. I don't know, man, I'd never trust that, bro. It's like you're paying for the ads to collect donations. you could have spent that money, donated it, you know what I mean? But I also understand the point where they're probably spending, let's just say hypothetically, $100 to promote and gather donations, and in return they're probably making like 1,000, and they're sending that money to the help relief funds, and I hope they are, but it's just that I'm just not trusting any of that.
When did it get this bad? Because FEMA is supposed to come in, Red Cross is supposed to come in and hand you water and give you donations and help and be there for you, but instead they're confiscating it and arresting people who are actually trying to help. Yes, the volunteers, they've been told to leave and can't even help people anymore unless they're trained by the United Way. The same people who were already out there making a difference, and now they're being pushed out and told to go home or they will be arrested. This is a total insult to all of the local volunteers who were doing the real work before these bureaucratic agencies stepped in and took over.
I want to be careful here. That claim has nothing to back it up but her words. I have no reason to doubt this lady, but just know I have no way to verify her claim. What I can verify is happening is that in order to receive the measly $750 that the government's promising you if your entire life just got washed away, you have to apply for it on an app or a website. And
$750 only for your life? What?
From what I'm seeing, if you aren't already on some form of government assistance like SNAP or welfare, you ain't getting it. Seriously? Have they not looked at home prices in the Smokies in North Carolina? Most of those people, only? I would assume, are not going to be on government assistance. Those are middle-class families. Those homes are worth a lot of money. Those were middle-class neighborhoods. So even if these people are able to access the internet, which is highly unlikely, because they're stranded in the middle of nowhere with nothing, they're not even going to get approved for the funds that's supposed to be there to help them. This couldn't have been more mismanaged if it was planned like this in advance.
So yesterday, I went to McDonald's to get my daughter a Happy Meal because she wanted one of those crop collectible thingies or whatever. So I'm like,
oh man, no, please, not another one of those McDonald's video. Personally, I've never been, it's been like years, ages, I would say, like I've been to McDonald's. As a kid, I would go a lot, but it's just that later on I didn't. But I miss the fries though. The fries were always busting, man. You know what I mean? You know, nowadays kids be getting confused with exercising with extra fries. They're getting confused with extra fries with exercising, or exercising with extra fries, right? So like a lot of people getting confused. Nah, man, don't choose the extra fries. Choose exercising, okay?
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take her because she's been a good girl. And the people gave me a large fry by accident, and I didn't want them because I don't eat that stuff or whatever. So I threw it to the birds when I came home. I come back like almost, just about 15 hours later or whatever, approximately. I don't know. Math.
Even the birds don't care about it. That's what you're trying to say?
Don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head, charge it to my heart. But I come out here and not one single fry that they gave us is gone.
Damn.
Not one single fry. And then if you look close, there's a bunch of black ants on them. The black ants.
Sugar? Yo, the ants only go on sugar, right? Oh shit! That's weird. Okay, any expert in the chat? Because yeah, the fries are supposedly sodium, right? There's like a whole lot of salt, sodium on it. So and the ants usually don't touch that. The ants usually touch something sugary.
Are stiff. They're dead. Not even moving. So
what the hell?
It seems as if they attempted to eat the fries.
They dead.
But in the midst of it, they died. People, this is what we consume. This is what we put in our bodies. Man. This is a sign right here that not even the birds or the ants can eat this. And the ants that are eating it, they end up dying. Like, what the heck? I'm never buying my daughter anything from McDonald's again. Ever.
Yeah, good
Take
stuff,
this
good
as
stuff.
your warning. And
100%, man. Like, no disrespect, but like, guys, obesity rates that are going up, no disrespect to anybody that is, but you know, like, this is a fact, right? Working out is very good for you. It's very good for you. It's natural dopamine. You get to fire natural dopamine, and a lot of people that are depressed, that are that are on antidepressants, it's just if you were like taking care of your body, you were exercising, for a lot of people, not for everybody, but for a lot of people, it would solve that issue, and you don't have to rely on medications, which of course every medication has its own side effects, right? It's proven. So yeah, exercising good, man, is good, and processed food is always bad. We all consume it, man. Listen, me as well. We all consume it, man. But I guess we gotta regulate it. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta moderate it. We gotta lower it as much as possible. So
all of our warning, McDonald's is not food. It's not. And I know people have seen this many times, but this right here, like, I'm at a loss for words. Yeah. God bless everyone.
God bless
we all
everyone.
know to stay away from McDonald's food,
but
this is the first time I've actually seen something die immediately after eating a French fry. That's crazy. I haven't had McDonald's but once since I was in my early 20s. I stopped eating.
I had a lot of McDonald's as a kid, though. After that, just barely. After that, I just quit sodas, quit. I would still have sodas like once in a blue moon if I go out with my friends, right? You know, like on very rare occasion. Yes, but other than that, nah, bro. I as a kid, I had like a lot of sodas too, so, but after that, just quit, like all gone.
There right around the time that Super Size Me documentary came out in the early 2000s. So one night, about 3 years ago, I was driving home from a late night emergency maintenance call from the nursing home that I was working at, and I was hungry, so I decided to swing in McDonald's against my better judgment and grab me a 20-piece McNugget, and I had to stop and throw it up on the side of the road before I got back to my driveway. Never again.
Phil Schneider, a structural engineer who spent 17 years as a military contractor building deep underground military bases.
I know this guy. He was the guy behind Project Bluebeam, right? Or exposing that.
Went on a tour giving lectures and blowing the whistle on what he witnessed. He claimed there were 129 deep underground bases in America alone, all of which were the size of a small city. He found that some of these underground bases were connecting to ancient underground tunnels and cave networks that were inhabited by a non-human species, which he ran into while building an underground base beneath Dulce, New Mexico. Schneider said that the Dulce area was a hub of underground bases, all connected by a high-speed underground rail system. Less than a year after blowing the whistle, Schneider died under suspicious circumstances.
Yeah, of course.
Dulce, New Mexico is 170 kilometers from the Four Corners, an area known for the Skinwalkers, who the Hopi tribe describe as a non-human species that live underground. Dulce is 260 kilometers from Scientology's heavily guarded underground Trementina base. And Dulce is 200 kilometers from Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch, which is known to have an 8,000 square foot underground level and is rumored to lead even deeper underground. According to several prominent scientists who Jeffrey Epstein had as guests, Epstein hoped to seed the human race after a cataclysm by impregnating 20 women at a time at the Zorro Ranch. According to BizarreBub, the Kabbalistic teachings include a geocentric model of the Earth with an underworld that extends 7 levels beneath the surface, where a reptilian...
Bro, like, there's so many secrets related to Epstein, right? It's insane. I feel like, and I haven't really followed the entire story, but I know, like, the general stuff because it was all over the news, right? I know the general stuff. Yeah, had it been he was alive and, you know, trial happened fairly, I'm talking about, and the information was really spilled out, I think there would have been a lot of, like, deep and wild secrets that would have come out, but I don't think they're ever gonna know. I guess it's just gonna be conspiracies. It's gonna be like he said, she said, and you're never truly gonna know what's true and what's fake. It's just conspiracies now, but what if these are true, but you know, cannot necessarily prove it 100%.
Species lives. The 7 levels beneath the surface, where a reptilian species lives.
No.
These legends foretell a cleansing of the earth when everyone on the surface will perish and only those in the underworld will survive. High-level Freemasons allegedly believe in a hollow earth, where a non-human species rule from an underworld called Agartha.
Yeah,
and their most guarded secrets seem to revolve around a cyclical cataclysmic event. Phil Schneider also built submarine bases and said that most were connected to the vast network of deep underground bases. Ghislaine Maxwell had a submarine license and was known to transport people to Epstein Island through an underwater submarine port. The U.S. military built a submarine base on St. Thomas Island, which is just 13 kilometers from Epstein Island. And right next to this submarine base is Water Island, owned by Joe Biden's brother and their business associate.
No.
In a recent interview on Iconic, Juliette Bryant, who was kidnapped by Jeffrey Epstein for 2 years, said that she never witnessed any of the dozens of girls there being trafficked to any men other than Epstein. But she did wake up once paralyzed on a lab table and witnessed Epstein shapeshift into something else.
You know, and I still want to know why exactly I was taken there, because there's a lot more weird stuff going on, because, you know, I didn't see any girls getting trafficked to other men. So there's something else that they were doing. Which
that's fascinating in itself, and we have a lot of talk, and this doesn't get spoken about that much, but it's the kind of cloning DNA part that he was, obviously transhumanism, that he was interested in. Did that come up anywhere?
The idea may be connected to Epstein's interest in transhumanism, the belief that the human brain and body can be, or can and should be, artificially enhanced using modern science like technology. Epstein reportedly discussed the New Mexico baby ranch idea with various scientists, but there is no evidence that he acted on it.
Did you see any signs?
Well,
I mean, obviously there's scientists.
I'm just going to put it out there right now. I woke up in a laboratory there one night.
Wow.
You know, these are the things I haven't wanted to talk about because it's frightening. But there were scientists there, you know, and I woke up one night in a laboratory, paralyzed and naked on a table. I would like to be lie detected on this.
Damn.
You know, there are other weird things that I saw. I saw Epstein shift in front of my eyes. It was very, very frightening, and it's just something that I had to explain to myself because I saw him turn into something.
Greg Reese reporting.
These conspiracies are just crazy. And the way she talked about it, she sounds convincing, right? Do you want to believe that? Or like, I don't know, man. Where you guys at with this one? I mean, holy crap, bro. Damn. That's insane.
I was a little nervous about putting this clip in here because of the subject matter.
Yeah, like, I'm also kind of like, holy crap. Like, on YouTube? What? YouTube is just conspiracies, man. It's just conspiracies. Mostly all of them are fake, okay? I'm just putting it out there, bro, for YouTube's sakes, right?
And it may cause me trouble with YouTube, but what a great clip. I had to share it. I just had to. I've never heard that Epstein was into all this transhumanism stuff, or that he was potentially conducting science experiments on his abductees. This gives the Epstein story a whole new level of crazy. And I also can't help but wonder, as I'm sure this video is trying to imply, did Epstein use these underground government tunnels? It looks suspicious to say the least. That sure would explain the sweetheart deals and the slaps on the wrist that he received.
All right, my friends, no time to waste here. Did you know that the United States has multiple patents on how to steer and control hurricanes and tornadoes?
I didn't, but not shocked, because they you know, talk about weather control, right? Like, so.
Yes, this is very real, and it's backed by sources, as well as our own NOAA website, which discusses weather manipulation and what steps you or I would have to take in order to do our own weather manipulation. My friends, this is no joke. Many people believe that weather manipulation was used for Hurricane Helene, then somehow coincidentally stalled over the
also like that Dubai situation, right? The cloud city.
Rare lithium-producing towns of Western and North Carolina, which is the exact location of the largest lithium deposit we have in the United States. Now, something to keep in mind while moving forward, ever since we left Afghanistan, we have lost the ability to mine lithium there, where most of it used to come from. Now we are stuck having to fill this insane demand we have for this lithium right here in the United States. Once again, the largest deposit being right over the towns that just got completely destroyed by this hurricane. Alright, so before I tie this all up with this lithium situation, this video you're looking at right now went super viral over the last few days. We have over 3 million views on this clip here, where we are talking about these weird anomalies that were taking place right before landfall of Hurricane Helene. There's a lot of controversy about what's going on here, but these things pointed directly to where we saw landfall. Not only that, but we saw some weird scalar looking beams in there, a lot of weird stuff that we were breaking down, and it's causing a lot of talk about this situation, which is the point here. We've already established that weather manipulation exists, but I want you to take a look at this website from 2007, my friends. That's 17 years ago. And it came out from the Telegraph. It says, scientists a step closer to steering hurricanes. Now, in this article, they explain how they are using technology in order to control, manipulate, and steer these types of storms, including tornadoes. So when you take things like this, wild, and you also
not necessarily shocked, because we heard about the weather control program like years and years ago, right? At least I did. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it or not. So when I hear about like they're also trying to control or create hurricanes and tornadoes, not shocked. It's like part of that, right? But why? I mean, I guess we know why, but
add these patents that have been out for decades, you begin to see a picture being painted of what is really going on. Now, this isn't to say that every bit of weather is manipulated and controlled. It means that they have the capability of doing this, and it's right in your face. Now, I can't say for sure that Hurricane Helene was controlled by this type of technology, but it certainly looked like it was, and it certainly did epic, record-breaking damage that we have not seen in any of our lifetimes. So this will come down to you making your own conclusions and taking the data and making your own educated decisions on what you're seeing. We are in a place in history where it's almost impossible to be able to trust our own media or government, and I don't need to go over explanations on why that is. So now that we have all these steps in place, think about the situation as a whole. This wild hurricane comes barreling towards Florida, and we suspected that once this thing got close to land, it would rapidly intensify, and that's exactly what it did. And in my opinion, the reason that happened is because once it got close enough to our NEXRAD radar towers, it was then able to be influenced, as I've shown in many, many videos. Alright, now finally, I just want to conclude with this. 1 year ago, almost to the day, as you can see in this article, North Carolina lithium mine to reopen with $90 million Pentagon order to help increase U.S. production. My friends, if this is not screaming to you right now, I don't know what else can. Just take a look at how much lithium we've used year to year up to 2024. And then once again ask yourself, what are the chances that this flood takes place in the biggest spot in the United States that we can even mine this stuff?
Coincidence? I think not, fellas.
My friends, the information's there, it's been there, and if you don't go check it out now, it might not be there forever. I appreciate you all. I'm praying for every single person affected by this storm. What we are seeing out there is absolute tragedy, and it seriously makes my heart break. Alright everyone, until the next video, I will talk to you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Damn. That is crazy.
I'll list off all the countries right now that are mad at the United States. In just a few short years, we've gone from being a well-respected superpower to being a laughingstock. I would say, though, if this were true, and we would need much more evidence than this, I'd be looking at China first. They are ruthless when it comes to stealing minerals from other countries. And now that we don't have access to any lithium mines across the pond, it would totally make sense that they'd want to shut down our home-based operation. Then we'd have no choice but to buy from them, if they're willing to sell it to us. Now, I don't know enough about weather radar to know if this is true or not, but those straight lines it was showing on that radar screen sure did look suspicious. Looked like lasers being pointed across the landscape. And how does the saying go? There are no straight lines in nature?
Do you really think our ancient past could move and lift something like this? Good old Egypt was built with some of the most mysterious construction techniques thousands of years ago that we still question today. And honestly, the more we find, the less sense it makes. To this day, historians and Google debunkers love pretending like they know exactly how our ancestors did it, despite us not being able to replicate half of what they did using their suspected methods in modern times. Yet these stone blocks just keep on getting bigger and bigger, showing us how little we really know. But oh, this right here, this is not Egypt. Everything you just saw is in Utah in the United States. The expert...
Okay, Utah, Grand Canyon or
are trying to convince themselves at this point that these are natural. Found just a little north of Monument Valley in Utah, home to some of the most unique geological features in the world. Quite literally, these are unbelievable, and there's virtually no other place on Earth with the same formations found in this region. With iconic structures we're told are completely natural, when some of them kind of look like... No, I'm not gonna go there. Or maybe, okay, no, these are from the Grand Canyon, which is nearby, and I already made another video on that, so go check it out after if you want. Now, this area here is rumored to be an ancient quarry, as you can tell by these perfectly cut megalithic stone blocks. A lot of them. Precise straight lines and 90-degree angles, exactly what you would expect from a quarry, where stone blocks are cut to be used in other structures elsewhere.
Yeah, we had like a similar video on it. it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Like, it doesn't feel natural. Yeah, of course, like straight lines, like, come on now, it's not natural. Somebody put it there. Was it us, the humans, or was it somebody else?
As we see across Egypt, stone quarries everywhere that were used to build their signature monuments. Megalithic structures, quarries.
And also, like, pyramids are found elsewhere in the world too, plus in Antarctica too, right?
Megalithic structures, quarries. Amateur explorers were so intrigued they measured the blocks of this ancient Utah mega quarry, showing some of them to be almost exactly 21 feet in every direction, a near perfect cube, and estimated to weigh around 670 tons. Some of the heaviest stones in the pyramids of Egypt range from 80 to 100 tons, and we already question how those were moved. 670-ton stone blocks are magnitudes heavier and exponentially more difficult to lift and move than those, with the longer rectangular ones being closer to 900 tons.
Man.
How on earth would anyone move these thousands of years ago? Missing blocks in some areas further suggest
I feel like that even with the technology today, right, it's I wouldn't say impossible, but it probably is impossible. I'm talking out of my ass right now, but I think even with the technology today, it's gonna be impossible, if not, well, near impossible.
Guessing that whatever method would have been used is beyond anything we know. Now, to the average person, this irrefutably debunks the myth. If they were so heavy that ancient humans had no way to move them, they must have not cut them in the first place, and these are completely natural. Well, what about the stones at Baalbek in Lebanon? Some of the biggest in the world, which we know were quarried and used by humans. We just have no idea how. There are the Trilithon stones at the Temple of Jupiter, each weighing
I guess it was the aliens, man. Aliens! It was the aliens! It was the aliens!
An estimated 800 tons, said to have been built by the Romans, but some claim they actually established their temples on top of megalithic foundations they found there from thousands of years earlier. Or how about the even larger Stone of the Pregnant Woman lying nearby, weighing in at 1,000 tons, with some insisting these to be up to 9,000 years old. And let me tell you, they sure did not move these by dragging them in the sand. 2-ton blocks? Maybe. 1,000? Not a chance. If it was done in Baalbek, what's stopping it from being possible in Utah? What's that? I think the Google debunkers are still trying to justify this one. Let's hear what they got. Well, actually, it's just a simple case of orthogonal fracturing, which is totally natural, and here's an extensive scientific paper that explains it. Natural. Right. I think it's time you took your meds. You've done enough Googling for the day. For the rest of us crazies who dare question the facts, could this be the site of, dare I say it, an advanced ancient civilization?
There we go, boys. See what I was saying? Yeah, exactly. There we go. Because even with technology today, I think it's impossible. You know what I mean? Like, or near impossible. I don't know. But yeah, just like I never seen them move like 1,000 tons stones ever. Period. Okay, unless I'm missing something. But okay, that's not even the argument. The argument is that how did they do that back in the days, right? When there was none of the technology, no technology existed the way it does today, right? Back then it was just crazy, right? Or less crazy than today. So it gotta be someone else, if not us. Who was it?
Far before our known historic timeline, because this quarry is more bricked up than I am. Interestingly enough, there are also some intriguing petroglyphs in the area, drawings carved into rock around the area, likely left behind by the Navajo people, depicting scenes of tall humanoid beings, along with multiple uses of a spiral-looking symbol. In traditional Navajo culture, the spiral symbolizes time. Could this indicate this was from a very, very long time ago? Or perhaps even beings that travel through time? They do believe Monument Valley to be a sacred site that was built by the holy people, and the rock formations found here are the remains of these past beings that used to roam the earth. Navajo mythology suggests that the world has gone through many cycles, each one ending in a cataclysm that resets us back to zero, and according to them, the most recent one being a worldwide flood that washed their civilization away. Don't worry, even I'm getting tired of the story. Today, only remnants remain, found among the rock formations of Monument Valley and other peculiar finds like this rumored ancient mega quarry. Now, before all the debunkers start fuming in the comments, there's still the possibility that these are somehow completely natural, with sand accumulating in sedimentary layers, getting compacted over millions of years, and tectonic plates pushing them up into perfectly cut blocks. Which I can see something like this could maybe get away with being called natural. This, I don't know, seems like a stretch to me. Ha! Listening to you makes me feel smart. I just trust the science. Listen, little bro, if I step outside and it's raining, I don't care if a meteorologist with 3 PhDs tells me it's not raining. If I see rain, it's raining. If someone—
It is raining, bro. It's raining. Yeah, the cubes are so like straight lines, dude. Nah, there is absolutely zero way. Guys, check out this video on the screen. This is the last episode that we've done. It's gonna get you baffled, just like this one.